You always gotta share to the groups early. This always adds to having a bigger audience. Problem is, you gotta hold this. Hand up. How's everybody doing out there? No, not that one. And I hope you guys don't mind because I got a lot of people that are actually friend requested me. And I want to thank everybody out there for the success. Guys, I did a video about 3 weeks ago that's got up to 20,000 views on it already. And that's because of y'all. I'm going to ramble while I'm adding all of this. Somebody I was reading some comments out there on some of these people, and one of the comments was, and I'm gonna try to go slowly when I talk about them because I don't want to call anybody out, that they don't have a cult like we do. I was first the Minions. The Minions were the first years ago. Whenever I was talking about the ways that we did bat reviews, and I couldn't have did it with everybody that actually did bat reviews throughout the years. 15 years I've been doing this. I cannot say it was all me. Them, they helped out a lot too, but a lot of people are calling that I have a following. Somebody even said, I'm not one of the Minions and I'm not a follower. Well, that's what we call the movement now. Jeff talked about this the other day about the following, and a lot of people are calling it a cult. And I don't understand, because you want to gain knowledge on new stuff that's out there, the way, not just reinventing the wheel all the time, the way that you can better pick your bat, you know. And usually the people who are talking about this are those high bat speed guys that haven't experienced a low bat speed yet. So they don't know. They haven't experienced it. I've experienced. Everybody that hit with me has experienced it. Losing that edge, I guess, you know. So they have that high bat speed, and then guys, I've had the high bat speed. I can preach to the choir, and I've lost it. You know, doesn't matter what I take, what supplements I take, I still lost it. Not all of it, but I've lost it, and I got to do little things like, I'm going to talk about working out here in a minute. In the off season, to stay with it and not be that guy that just gives up and sits on the couch and gains 50 pounds and starts having heart issues in 5 years and not getting up and doing something that you really do care about. I'll go ahead and share on that. Softball uncensored. I don't know about that one. So what I see is a lot of people doesn't want to be a minion or a cult in a cult. That was funny when I seen that. And maybe I just had, you know, when I was doing senior softball bat reviews, and I can pick up the phone and I can call a lot of the older guys to come out and hit with me. That way I can better judge the way a bat performs for everybody. You know, I got the ladies involved last year when senior softball bat reviews out of the state of Texas. Stacy Carr led that charge out of Georgia. I had her getting her girls and hitting a lot of these bats out there too. No, Legends of Softball. how did I get that one? How did I get that one? Paris. Yeah, we got them from everywhere. Corpus Christi. I do like me some Corpus Christi. It's on the Gulf Coast here. Go there every year. Port A, actually. Man, my arm is killing me. I'm almost done here, guys. But a few of the, I read that actually about 2 hours ago. Somebody had said, and it's an old post about, but they don't have a cult. And I kind of laughed. And it basically, I'm going to tell you exactly, on the people that are new here, I'm going to tell you exactly what we started doing. And Porch started doing it too. Ooh, 48 people. With Short Porch, Steve, Tucker, definitely, brother. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that I like doing, and I may do it too much. Especially my wife gets mad at me when I do it. Is talk to people, and I can talk till all hours, and just basically talking about bats to a point. Oh, definitely, Ron. And basically when. And I'm not going to go far into that. I don't want this to be a rant video about me talking about guys out there that I don't agree in, and that's just it. I don't want to. What I want to do is, if something's out there that is said, or I want to correct it, I want to say, hey, this is not for everybody. You know, especially when they were doing what they were doing and jumping like really bad. And I know a lot more than what they think I know about a lot of people out there. So that, guys, I've been doing this for 15 years. I know everything. I have a lot of friends out there that confide in me, and they know that I won't say anything. So I know how the system works. I know it better from the inside, watching out how the system works too. I was in Phoenix talking to a few people, and yeah, it is the dark side. Cage. No, dude. I talked to you for an hour today. Took an hour out of my time talking about hunting. Cage. Is it about business, Cage? If it's about business, I will call you. Cage, I'm joking with him. He did call me, try to talk to me about business, but it turned into hunting. Cage is a hunter like I am, likes to hunt. So we sat there and talk for 45 minutes, 50 minutes about hunting. The wife's watching. Hey, Tammy. So, and I won't go, allergies kicking my ass. I won't go too far. I won't go too far into all that either. I really don't care. But if something's put out there that I don't agree in, I will do my own research on it. And I will put it out there to find out what went wrong, or, you know, or if to keep everybody informed. And it actually, how's it going, guys? And then I think I'm just going to put this out here right now. I'm going to stop. I think if you're going to do bat reviews, you have to get the ladies involved. I think it's a disservice to a lot of the ladies out there that they don't know what bat better fits their swing. And I said this for years about the ladies. You know, I've been talking about the ladies for years. Soft barrel bats. You know, with the ladies, weight distribution not too heavy because you'll get barrel drop. So basically, that's what Short Porch is bringing to the table. We're more focused on the ladies, and it's hard because we're evolving as, you know, as bat reviewers. Because, how you doing, Joanne? So we're evolving as bat reviewers, and years ago I started introducing what I thought was better for the ladies to swing. You know, different flex in the handle than men's. See, I need to quit watching that stuff, guys. On you guys that asked me about the supplements, I'm going to talk about them about halfway through this and what I'm doing. I will write up every supplement. Matter of fact, I might have Tammy do it here in a minute. And then she'll put it out there on the Facebook page. That way everybody can see what supplements I take during the season, during the off season too, because I do take different stuff for the ladies too. I will actually add, Joanne, what supplements my wife is taking too. And it's any different than mine. It's basically a lot of the same stuff. Definitely D3 with K2 because of this time of year. Because of the sunlight. We're not getting enough sunlight during the day, and everybody's not outside because it's too cold. That's the main time, the best time to take D3 with K2. But what I was talking about on the bat review, people, and somebody had said, you know, stop doing bat reviews whenever you got hired by Short Porch and let us do it. And not in so many words, but that's the way they actually came across. And I understand it. I really do. I even said this in the past, you know, you can't work for a company and do reviews, but you can correct other people when they put out a review that you don't agree in. And that's basically what I was doing. Won't happen again. I guarantee you it won't happen again because we're doing things different with Short Porch now. A lot of our signature player guys and a lot of our factory hitters are going to get the bats and basically do advertising, because I said this in the past too, and I'm going to stick by what I say, is when you start working for a company or you have a signature on a bat, you're basically not a reviewer anymore. You're a advertiser. And talk about how the bat feels. So basically, you know, you got your Ron Yeagers out there. You have your DIs out there. You know, Brandon Murray's, Clem, you have Trey Roberts. Those are going to be our spokespeople and our spokesladies, Stacy Carr, and you have Rachel Good. You know, you have all these other people that are out there that will speak for us because just to keep it in-house, basically. And it will be not reviews. It will actually be our opinion, you know, because we are sponsored, we do work for Short Porch, and get out there and tell you guys how the flex is, what would be better, who would be better swinging this bat. And basically what I did, you know, a couple of 3 weeks ago when I started doing that Blackout, me talking about how the bat fits different people. And I know it wasn't advertised as that, but it came out that way. So, you know, we had to, and just so happened, guys, that bat, I'm just telling you, that bat is the best bat I've ever swung in my life, that Blackout. Now, it won't last me 250 swings, 300 swings. I got 200, in Phoenix, I got 210, I think it was, maybe 212 on that bat, and I gave it away when I was coming back. We had finished our last game, and there was somebody playing behind us because we had took third in Phoenix, and I'd given it to a gentleman that was a Hayes on Short Porch, and I gave it to him. And I just told him have fun with it, but guys, I did that every year after Vegas. I always give away my gamers during the year because during the next year I'll break in another bat to actually be my gamer, and it might change because when I was doing the reviews. So plus we have so many things up on the table. I'm sure. Definitely for the ladies, Stacy. And we have so much that's on the table coming out. I didn't need the Blackout anymore because there's by I think our next game is the Huntsman's in March, and I'm playing 65s with Rocky Mountain Thunder. I heard this, but I didn't know if it was true or not because I haven't played 65s. I didn't play 65s. This is gonna be my first year coming up here. I didn't know they had a 5-man infield and a 4-man outfield. You know how tough that is? You guys out there know how tough that is. That is very tough, especially when you're playing, the teams that what we had up in my dog. Well, we had the teams up there in Phoenix, and a lot of good teams out of Phoenix. I think that's Todd that just chimed in right there. Todd will be the one of those two that will actually just go out there and do hitting videos with the bats. Because I think, going back to that, I think because of the movement, a lot of people aren't in tune with the movement. A lot of people tend to not understand it, And like I was talking about the ladies a minute ago, I think if you're going to do bat reviews, you got to get the ladies in there hitting because they want to know, too, what's going on. I do think that you need to get the 70-year-olds involved and get them out there and start hitting. I even would, when I was doing, and I was even sending bats off to some of the ladies to actually just get video on them. And they weren't a part of Short Porch. Joanne will talk about that when I sent her a bat out of Vegas, a Short Porch bat. And I actually asked her, she's not a review, she does a review. And I actually asked her to swing the bat and just let me know what you think about it. She liked it so much, she asked me if she could get another one. I really think that she would love to death that Blackout. But, she'd have to keep it out of Kirk's hands because Kirk is her husband. And very good guy. I played with him. I played against him. He's a good guy. And they actually go out, travel around and play softball together. So I kind of like that because me and Tammy used to do that whenever she was before she turned corporate on me. We used to do that a lot, travel around and play softball together. So I just think you need to get the older guys in there because I still get phone calls. I still get phone calls about what about this bat from another bat company, and I'm like, Bud, I don't do that no more. I couldn't tell you about that bat because I don't know how soft the barrel is, and they start telling me their bat speed. And I said, man, all I'm going to tell you about is Short Porch. I'm not going to talk about any other bat company out there. So that is what I just took right there. It's another one that everybody needs to get on too. That's B12, folate. Do research in folate and folic acid. Google it. Do research in folate and folic acid. I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I was out of town last week, and I'm going to kind of explain what I'm doing right now. I've got some questions that I'm going to answer here in a minute. What I'd like for you guys to do, if you have questions, and what I do, if you have questions about something, we are going to be totally transparent with you guys. And let you know what's going on. Ask the question. I really won't get on and look at it. Magnesium, definitely. If your B levels are low, there's a B complex out there that hits all the B vitamins. I would get that. I think that's Todd, but I would get that. But what I going forward, and this is what I want this to be in these podcasts. I want them to be an hour or an hour and a half. I went one the other day on that membership channel that it's there. I'm sorry, on that membership channel that went an hour and 45 minutes because I do those, and I'm gonna talk about that membership channel in a minute because I kind of got bullet points I need to go by. But what I want this to be during the off season, because a lot of people should not be swinging their bats right now. A lot of people should be getting ready and working out and taking supplements and getting their body in shape to play next year again. There is no off time when it comes to seniors, guys, because what happens when you become seniors is it's so hard to get kicked back up again to actually start doing anything. How you doing, Trey? Trey's a little mad if Leslie comes in. Leslie, there you go. Trey's a little mad because I posted that video of all of us and he wasn't included in it because he wasn't there in Vegas. So if we can Photoshop him into that picture that I got put up on that short porch, if I got put up on that short porch and put Trey in there, he was a little angry today because he wasn't in it. Not really angry. He was just saying he wished he could have stayed and actually got in that picture because that was a pretty good picture that everybody took out at Vegas with all the guys. So what you should be doing right now is getting in shape for next year. How you doing, Keith? Get in shape for next year and working out, hitting the gym. Because guys, if you take, at our age, you take any time off and it's so hard to come back. Get out and do something, walk around, you know. I do a lot of guiding in the off season and that's hard work. It just getting up early. It's 4:30 in the mornings. You know, going to sleep at nighttime around 10, you know, and then hitting it again the next morning. And that's like 4 or 5 days straight and doing that. And then harvesting the animal, you know, just stuff like that. But this is the time that what I would like to do with these podcasts is informational stuff. Because we haven't stopped doing, there's no off season when it comes to short porch. Me and Jeff talked twice for a long time today on the phone about different things that were coming up and different ideas. I gave him an idea about 2 weeks ago. And he was going to think about it. And it's all about pushing the envelope. And that's when we talk about the cult. I mean, I don't talk about the cult. I do talk about the minions, but other people out there, and they'll talk about the cult. We don't have a cult like you do, or like you used to, or whatever. And it's not really, it's just these people that follow us, that want to know the new tech that's coming out there, that want to know that how we're pushing the envelope and how we are doing things. And we can go, I talked to Jeff too and Leslie, I said, we can take this up to a point where we don't give up too much information, but it's information that's a very, very good for you guys to listen to and let you guys know we are headed in the right direction with different material. You know, that a lot of people say you can't use that, and we're proving them wrong. You know, we can use that because we've tested it. We're not just kind of throw it out there, you know, and hopefully it'll work. You know, we don't do that shit. There's a lot of testing that goes into these by 3-4 different people. Alan's a part of that testing too. You know, we have the other guys in there that have signatures on their bats. It's just not their bat they're going to be swinging. It's going to be other bats from short porch that they're doing testing on. Everybody's involved. You know, that's one thing a lot of guys don't understand out there. It's just not me or Jeff or Christian that actually get it first, as of what happened today. And Cage that got a bat first, and that would happen today. And it's going to be sent to us to hit for Friday. You know, that's what I'm talking about. We're still hitting, you know. I just got to change my times up a little bit when I get my guys out there. And then Alan will get it, or DI will get it, or Jaeger will get it. You know, we send them all, and then the ladies, especially with the, we decide, you know, what the low bat speed bats are, kind of like what we did with Stacy. Got the Blackout a little faster, and then you have Cage is actually out there swinging them too. So just to get his input, and then you got Rachel Good, who actually just got a Blackout the other day too. So they can, not only are we talking the talk, but we're walking a walk, because we're sending to all of our people to swing. My girls here, Tammy and Zena, are swinging that bat too. So they give me input on it too. So it's the family, La Familia, I call them. It's the whole family that is actually out there, and they're talking to us and giving us ideas, you know, and everybody has an input. You know, Jeff takes this, Leslie takes this, and builds a good bat. You know, they build bats that are better matching their swing, because guys, it's all about soft, medium, and hard with us. That's what we've been preaching. You know, Short Porch has been preaching for a long time. We have been preaching for years about it's no longer one bat fits all. And I think that's the way of the movement. Jeff, and when I say I too, I mean Short Porch. Short Porch thinks that's the way of the movement. You know, you can't have Brandon Murray picking up a bat that's built for me and swing it. You can't have, You know, I can't pick up a bat that's built for Brandon Murray and swing that. That's just old school shit, man. You can't do that. We're trying to move this in a direction where everybody benefits. Prime example, the blackout. The blackout weight distributions weren't the same. But what people aren't focused, this is the problem that me and Jeff talked about. There was so much negative shit about that blackout. Nobody focused on it was the best bat ever made. It just didn't last some people a long time. That got pushed to the side, and that upset us. Like it upset me a lot. But I was like, you know, nobody ever said it's the best bat they've ever swung. Guys, I swung that. I swung a lot of bats out there, and that blackout, although it won't last me 250, 300 swings, that was the best bat I've ever swung. If you guys see me swing it in BP in Phoenix, Arizona, I slapped the ball that went 350 foot in the park, in the parking lot. My team will tell you that was up there. Just ask them. Those are people that watch me swing it, you know. You hit it down and hard, it's going to go through people. It just didn't fit. It just didn't fit the higher bat speed guys, and we understand. We made it good. We understand, but the deal is, you know, I'm getting way ahead of my shit too, man. 26 minutes I've been talking about other stuff that I shouldn't be, because I was supposed to talk about that later. So you guys got me on a roll. You see how I can talk? So if you guys ever talk to me, that's what I do right there. It's like a squirrel moment where I just start. Okay, guys. Facebook Live. I think the power of the internet is the greatest thing that we can ever have, man. I think to get your ideas out there, to talk to people, we have this internet. I'm 64 years old, going to be 65 next year, and I understand that. You know, a lot of the kids are getting on that, you know, that social media page, and the way I don't like it when it, you know, I don't like it sometimes when it comes to my kids growing up, but I know that it's, as we get older, it's the way to show your stuff. That's kind of like what I said about, a lot of guys ask me, how do I get myself out there? How do I let other people know about me? Because it's not like it was. The way there was a lot of politics introduced into finding a team 40 years ago. You had to know somebody who was on a good team. So you'd actually ask them, there's a buddy system, right? I want to bring this guy along, and I want to bring this guy along, and he's a pretty good hitter, you know? That's the way it was done years ago. But what I tell a lot of people now is, you know, they have places you can post looking for a team, or there's teams that are looking for players. But video is the way you get noticed. Put video out. Then people can see you, don't have to ask questions. They can see how you hit. And don't just sit out there and hit bomb after bomb after bomb. You know, go up the middle, 5-6 hole, you know, oppo, set up some cans where you're hitting around. It's a 5-man infield. Let everybody know that you're not just one-dimensional player. And then tell them positions that you actually play. I think pitcher, a good pitcher, is one of the positions that everybody's looking for, especially when it comes to any AA, AAA, major plus. I think pitcher, a good pitcher, a high average pitcher is somebody that is it can get on a team anywhere. And if you can bat 800 as a pitcher, 750 as a pitcher, you're going to find a good team to play with. Shortstop, you know, second base, shortstop, fast outfielders when it comes to seniors. You know, that's another one too. Solid, not necessarily make all the diving plays because we are seniors, but just be automatic when a ball's hit to you. Throw to the right base. One of the positions I know for a fact you got to hit your ass off is first base and catcher and DH. You've got to bat 800 to fill that position, and you got to hit it regularly. You know, a high 7s you can get away with. But there's so many people out there that because that's the only thing they have to work on is just, you know, hitting. I think, I don't want to say dime a dozen because hitting 800 is still just nothing too, man. Hitting 800, guys, that's tough. there's not too many mistakes. You could probably have one bad game and try to recoup from that and hit 800. Other than that, man, I hear a lot of people talking about it. I hit 8. My batting average last year was 880 or 840. I'm like, that's played Major Plus for 10 years, guys. And I played against some of the 10 years. And I played against some of the best pitchers out there. And I achieved it one time in 10 years. One time in 10 years. It is so hard to do. 50s, 55s, and 60s, it's hard. And then you got 65s that have that other outfielder with a 5-man. That gets a little harder, especially you're playing a major plus level too. Hell, you play in any level. Don't give a shit. It's still hard to hit it through somebody or hit it over somebody there. So I laugh when I hear people out there talking about they hit 850 last year. That's hard shit. That's like I hit a 450-foot home run, or everybody talks about 400 like it ain't shit, guys. 400 is a poke. 400 is a poke. Me and Mark Reeves was talking about that when we were hitting a couple of weeks ago, and and talking about all these people out there. Well, I hit that one 380, and I hit that one 400. I want 400. I'm like, I'm not saying you didn't do it. I'm just saying, show me the video where you did it and Google map it for me, please. One thing that we had whenever we hit at S.A.R.M.S was we had the baseball field, and when you heard that ball hit concrete, that was 400 feet. So you go back and you can go back and look at the videos. Bubba Blake reached it. Mark Reeves reached it. Clem reached it on the edge. And I think that's it. All the times that would reach it back in the day. But yes. So that was funny whenever I heard people say about the batting averages. Guys, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I'm on all of it. Get on it. Another thing too, and I just started this the other day, and I think it's going to be pretty damn good because I get other people involved in it. I have a membership channel, guys. It's $5 a month. It's on that YouTube channel. I've got a lot more people watching it now, and the reason is because I do podcasts with them once a week, and it's usually on a Sunday night or a Monday. And I do podcasts with them and give them a little bit more info than I'm giving you guys on what's coming up and what can be seen going forward in December and January and February without giving up too much information. The names of bats that we have coming out, who's still involved with the guys that we're going to are going to be on that signature series bats. They're going to be different bats for those people, those hitters that are going to be with us. They're going to be different. They're going to be different flexes in the handle, different flexes in the barrel. That they can showcase for them. Jaeger likes the balance bat. There's going to be a balance bat for him. We don't know when those are coming too, because I know there are some bats that are coming out with signature names on them from people in the next couple of 3 months, and we're gonna see. I'm trying not to give up too much information, but we're gonna try to see where that goes. That membership channel too, guys. I was up in Savannah, Georgia, and I was doing, I think, 1 hour and 30 minutes worth of hitting in Savannah, Georgia, and we were testing the 2-piece that's coming out in a couple months, and we were testing that bat and basically seeing the way it performed. And it's a different bat. Nobody's ever had a bat like this. It's got the Kevlar technology, but the distribution in that bat is totally different. Nobody's ever, no, Ron, you actually know about the 2-piece, and we're not going to talk about it till it's launched, because actually I talked to Ron about it when I was up in Vegas about what we were doing with that. I don't know if Jeff is going to put a patent on it or not. He's not a big believer in a patent because somebody's going to reverse engineer it, find it anyway, how it was built, and he doesn't want to put up. And he's not that guy, where Leslie too, where those people were, that's kind of like we talked about the names of bats, someone took a name the other day, and it was one of our old bats, and Jeff didn't care. You know, he said names are hard to find. Let them take it. We don't care. We're not those people that are going to go and bust your balls out of taking a name. You know, and that's the way these, you know, the short porch is. You know, La Familia. They're not out to bust your balls. You know, and I thought that was pretty neat when I was talking to them about it. And the only thing I did was laugh. So on that membership channel, if you decide to join, what it did was we're testing compression levels in that Kevlar 2-piece. And we were getting exit velo numbers when it got down to 160 compression, and the exit velo numbers were in the 90s, mid 90s. Now, we have never had a bat that got that low in compression that had that trampoline effect off that barrel. So basically, it's us talking about it. And it was Adrian, which might chime in here in a minute, and it was Paco and David, and then Jeff was there too. And we were kind of giving Jeff the updates on what kind of exit velo numbers we were getting off that with that low compression. I think it has a lot to do with the Kevlar. And that bat had 550 swings on it that we were swinging. This is just the little things that I'll talk about in that membership channel, and basically talk about the things that nobody else is talking about. Drama. I think I'll talk about drama on that. That I don't want to talk about on this one because it's just between, I call the membership channel guys. And I'll talk about the drama that I heard that was going on. I want to say something here, man, before I get too far deep into this. And I'm not going to go too far into this. And this is just my opinion and my opinion only because I'm a big boxing fan. I watched boxing back in the day. I've seen them all. I've seen Muhammad Ali. I've seen them all, man. I think that this is just me. You don't have to reply on this. But what we've turned into, man, is a shit show. I actually went to bed because I was actually guiding. I had to get up early. My son stayed up and watched it, but I actually went to bed early before that actually started fighting. I kind of knew what it was going. I kind of knew there's no way they wouldn't let Tyson win that boxing match. I think it was a shit show. I think it was staged. They're all in it for the money, and I think that's bullshit because it's a disservice to everybody, all of us out there. I watched Tyson back in the day. You know, I think a lot of the video that led up to the fight were old video of him because his legs were bigger. He knows how big his legs were when he was hitting, and he was uppercutting. And they said, well, he just lost his legs. He couldn't uppercut. I said, well, that's funny. And I go back and look at the old video, and I'm like, it's the video he had before the leading up to the fight, and it was old video of him. And I'm like, sons of bitches, man. They actually, that's what it was, a money grab. 40 million and 20 million for him. But then again, who one of us? And they're saying, well, and they keep on making the effing excuse, guys, that he's old. What are you talking about? I see some guys 65 years old that are in the greatest shape of their life are out there. You know, 60 years old that are in the greatest shape of their life out there. What do you mean he's too old? You know, 2-minute rounds. Was it 8 rounds? 10 rounds? 2-minute rounds. How many? I guarantee you got a handful of guys watching this tonight that would get in there and last that long and throw some better punches than he did. Because he held up on a lot of his shit, guys. He held up on a lot of his shit. And the excuse was, well, he isn't older. And, you know, Jake Paul didn't take it easy on him. I grew up in a bar, man. I seen a lot of old guys beat the shit out of young kids. Don't give me that shit. He took it easy. He didn't, you know, the young guy took it easy on him. I grew up in a bar, man. Got married at 35. Been in bars all my life, country bars. You don't fuck with old men. You don't. So I was laughing my ass off. The next morning, 8 rounds. The next morning I got up and my son was telling me, Dad, lucky you went to bed. And I said, yep. I already knew what it was going to do. You know, at least he lasted the round. He lasted the fight, you know, got his money and he got the hell out of there. You know, it's all about money and this Jake Paul guy that's a shame. You know, that's a shame. It's all about, and people watch that shit. Damn right you do it. People watch that shit. That's all I'm going to say about that. Any of you guys think that wasn't staged? Dude, I've been a boxing fan all my life. I watched boxing since I was a kid. I loved it. It was awesome. I think boxing lately is not as good as when Tyson left it. You know, and he was one of the guys that I really love to watch. Muhammad Ali, I think, is probably the best I've ever seen. Not saying what you've ever seen, but what I've ever seen. I think Muhammad, he was just so, wasn't big, powerful, but he just knew his shit. How to do it, guys. I was in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. I was in Phoenix, had a great time up there. What's up, Charlie? I was in Phoenix. Charlie, your bat was mailed out yesterday. It should be getting to you probably tomorrow, or maybe, yeah, it's probably tomorrow. It's a 27-ounce Blackout. Charlie had knee replacement surgery, and I sent him a 27-ounce brand new Blackout because he's got a tournament, Toys for Tots tournament in Corpus coming up, and he's going to take it there and hit with it. I think that bat would fit you because of you can't stride because we were working on a bad knee. Not a bad knee, but a new knee. And you're going to get your other one done after that, right, Charlie? And then I think this bat coming in the next year will actually help you because you're not going to be full strength. I wouldn't give this bat to you if you were healthy. Definitely not. I think you'd blow it up, but it's going to be fun, Charlie. Just swing it. You're going to like it. Do not swing it in batting practice. Swing something else in batting practice. I guide this time of year, guys, so you're going to see a lot of pictures of me guiding. And there you go. I guide this time of year. I am out of town. Like I leave on Friday night. We're going to hit on Friday morning, and we're going to maybe do Facebook Live, but there will be video of us hitting. It's going to be the whiteout prototype that it was sent to us on the bats that are being sent to us. And I told you guys this is what we're going to do. And this bat we will be hitting it. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to hit it all day on Friday, and we're going to hit it in 70-degree weather. So we might be hitting a little later in the morning, and this will be the whiteout. And we're going to hit it, make sure there's no problems with it. And basically because we don't trust bats going forward, what's coming in, and we're going to talk about them when they're here hitting with us. After we get done hitting, I think there's a bat that's up in Savannah, Georgia. There's two of them that were sent to us. There was bat that is up in Savannah right now. I'm either gonna leave it with Trey to hit more with it here, or I might send it to Allen Hancock because I know that they're in Florida and it might be a little better weather for them to hit. That way, that's what I'm talking about. Like all of our core guys and ladies are going to be hitting a lot of these bats that we get in, and give you guys our opinion of them, and basically advertise the better fit the bat in your hand. Or you said rifle muzzle. We don't do much muzzle loading here. We got a muzzle season here, but I don't hunt. I do hunt, but I don't hunt when I guide. Bow season was in October. We have all the bow people in. The problem with bow people is you can't guide bow people because they want to hunt by themselves. And I understand that because they got to get close. And they do a lot of spot and stalk. We'll drop them off at 1,000 acres. I guide, me and my son, and we got 10 guides up there. Me and my son guide on 21,000 acres. It's the Baker 3 Ranch in Rock Springs, Texas. You can look it up. It's all over everywhere. YouTube it. I got a YouTube. I have a YouTube outdoor channel called Apache Outdoors. I got a lot of the videos in there, a lot of hunts in there from me for the last 30 years, guys. A lot of people didn't know that, but yeah, I have a YouTube channel of nothing but hunting. I videotape everything when I hunt too. That's another thing. But it's a mainly rifle hunt. A lot of guys are coming. We got Louisiana coming down this weekend. Florida's coming down. Last week we had New York guys come down. A lot of people from out of state. And mainly it's rifle season. Bow hunters, they don't want anybody. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, as you get older, you get them squirrel moments where you just like go off. I just wanted to talk about that because it is rifle season right now. And but I do have a client coming in this weekend. His name's Drew. He's actually probably watching too, and he bow hunts only. At the end, he'll probably rifle hunt. But we have a few guys that bring their bow in and they want that challenge, so they'll get it out there. I got a few bow blinds that are set up just for these guys too. But it's a badass ranch. The problem is, I think Matt McGee texted me yesterday, and he wants to schedule a six-man rifle hunt for Axis. And Matt, we're booked up for 2 years, man. Somebody dropped out last 2 weeks ago, and there were 10 people waiting in line to get that guy's spot for whitetail. So Apache Outdoors is the name of it, called Apache Outdoors. Or just get on YouTube and look at Baker 3 Ranch, and then you'll see that's me, all of my videos in there. Got like 100 something, maybe more than that, maybe 300 videos on there of a lot of hunts, a lot of hog hunts, a lot of just regular hunts. But that's me. Squirrel moment. They're booked up and they have a waiting list. So it's hard for me to get. A lot of guys ask me if they can come out. A lot of guys ask me if they can set up a hunt. Guys, this is, they have a waiting list for turkey season. They got a waiting list, which is in April. They got a waiting list for everything. So we have a bat coming in that we'll be hitting on Friday. And then that bat's going to go somebody else. That Jeff will make that call and Leslie will make that call. I was in Phoenix, had a great time talking to a lot of people. I can talk a lot when it comes to anything. Like you talk, look what I did when talking about hunting. I could sit there and talk. In Phoenix, I was talking to a lot of guys too, and I kind of want to walk right into this. And I don't want to spend too long on it about bat shavers. Bat shavers are out there, guys. I think there's something that needs to happen. And a lot of guys know about this that I did not knew as much as I did, because apparently call Leslie. She just put her name up there. Actually, it would be Erica or Leslie that will pick up the phone, or Cage that'll pick up the phone. But we'll talk about bat shaving, guys. I did see some bats that were not a lot, probably not as much as I saw in years past, but wasn't Phoenix. I did see a hint, a red flag. Not necessarily people that were playing against me, but I sat there and watched a few games. I probably watched 5 games and on. There were a couple of bats, just a couple, that I would say, shit, and they were usually on bats that I did reviews on, and bats that I was like, that bat didn't hit like that when I did a review on it. As a matter of fact, I could trash that bat. It didn't make my top 10. So that's the reason that I can probably pick them out a lot easier than a lot of people. Sound too. I can pick it out by sound and the way the ball comes off the bat, the exit velo. I picked the bat up the other day, and I grabbed it and I was like, man, this bat's got a big ass end load on it, which it didn't have in the beginning. But there, and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and I just want to keep it out there because I do think that we keep bringing this up. I don't want it to die. There were 4 people that were caught shaving bats. There is one that is a big name, a very big name, and it's going to shock. It's going to be, and it's going to be pretty. It's going to surprise a bunch of people. When his name gets out, I won't mention the name. I won't mention the name to anybody. But a lot of people know about it. And I think that's good. I was in Phoenix, and couple of guys come up and talk to me about it, and a couple of guys mentioned the name, and I'm like, how the hell did you know? And apparently their source is as good as mine. And I wish, the more people that know about this, I think that they're not going to hide it as much, because, somebody saw the bats being picked up from him, which I know all the guys that had the bats collected, and the bats were not given back to any one of those 4 guys that were caught, and they were collected and taken away. I know that for a fact. That it has actually already been verified from me. So I hope it comes out. I think anybody that shaves a bat is a piece of shit. I think a lifetime ban, and I think you put his name everywhere. Not only a lifetime ban. And I hear people out there going, you shouldn't do that. You just should ban him. No, there's got to be a deterrent, guys. What better deterrent is there to shame that person? Shame is a big ass deterrent, man. You just can't, all of a sudden, or if you don't shame him and let his name go out there and you just ban him, the guy could fake an injury and say, I can't play anymore because I got a bad back. You shame people, and that is the biggest deterrent you can have. Somebody knows that you've been shaving bats, and that's where you're going off of on all your YouTube shit. Yeah, I know the company doesn't want his name out there. But anyway, I'm going to stop right there. Because here's another thing too. I'm not saying release their name now. There's got to be a process. There's got to be a process on how they do this. They got to find it. They got to identify that it was shaved. And from what I heard, 4 people were identified as shaved. Now they appeal it. They got to, somebody's already getting way ahead of me. Roller bags. So they got to appeal it, and then it's got to be investigated. And then lawyers are involved, because I guarantee a lawyer's involved, because this person doesn't, those people don't want their name to be put out there. So anyway, I think it needs to be released just in due time, as long as they do it before next year. Somebody says, and I keep hearing this, somebody says, why shave a senior bat? They're already hot. There are people out there that want that, oh my God, that ball went a long way. They're probably a narcissist. I might maybe getting too deep into this, but they're probably a narcissist that actually weren't paying attention to. Nobody paid attention to them when they were coming up through league ball or church ball. And they had a guy that they played with. I'm gonna profile somebody here. I'm gonna profile your average bat shaver. They never got any respect as a softball player growing up. There's 2 different reasons. They never got any respect as a softball player growing up, but their buddy can hit bombs. So they had somebody that told them, hey, just get it shaved. You can be as good as your buddy or hit him as far as your buddy. So what do? They go out there and start hitting bombs. And they can't get away from it. It's almost like the guy in the gym that was natural for such a long time, and nobody paid attention to him. All of a sudden, he started doing massive doses of steroids, got gigantic, and everybody in the gym looks at him when he walks in the door. That's the attraction. That's the addiction to steroids. A lot of people talk about steroids being addictive. Yes, they are, but it's about the people watching you. It's not that it makes you feel good and you gotta take it. That's not what it is. It's about the attraction that you get, right? I've seen it happen with friends in front of me, and they got a lot stronger than I did when I was training to play ball. They got a lot stronger than me, and that's what he told me. I love that. I love that people watch me. Same thing. Guys, shave bats, get out to the park, they hit them bombs, and people look at them when they come walking by. That's the attraction to a lot of those people. Another thing, too, is incentive money. A lot of these conference people get paid for hitting a certain batting average through the year, right? How many home runs, how many home base percentage? They get money for that. Why do you think Major League Baseball players did it? Because the guy next to him, and I know this is a fact because it was told to me about a player from Cincinnati. Guy next to him, is second baseman, is half his height and is sticking a needle in the clubhouse in him. Winstraw was the one that they were using back in the day. So all of a sudden, at the end of the year, he's getting incentive money. So shit, the guy's like, I want incentive money. I'm a better player than him. So what did he do? He got on it too. Fact right there. So a lot of these baseball players playing softball, well, shit, these big teams they play with, it's incentive money. The better you are, bigger, stronger, faster, more money you're going to get. And you think they give a shit about you? You think they give a shit about you pitching? They don't. Don't think they do. You can't get to those people. They don't give a shit about anything. They only care about themselves. That's why I call them narcissists. They don't care about themselves. What is the batting average at the end of the tournament? I'm done with that. I'm kind of go through this, and I am getting kind of long here, man. I cannot believe it's going to go on an hour. This has got to go on longer than that because I got so much shit to talk about. That's why I started early. Let's talk about bats, man. No, let's not talk about bats. Somebody said something a minute ago, and Jeff just talked to me. He's on here. Jeff just talked to me about it today. We're in the process of doing bat bags, roller bags. Jeff had said something about backpacks, but I think we're going to do the roller bag first. But yeah, he's actually got somebody that's going to do it for us. A pretty good company. And we're going to go into that. Guys, this is the one thing that I talked to Jeff about it today is this is going to be a roller bag that is high tech. A lot of people don't have this roller bag. We talked about it a little bit. Was it yesterday, Jeff? Might have been yesterday or today. I forget. Yesterday, today, and we were talking about it, and we were talking about what we wanted it to consist of, and we'll talk about whenever it comes out. And we just have ideas, and what we're going to do. It's going to be different. It's going to be different. And we're starting on it, I think next week and a half. We're going to start on it, get the design together. But I think we heard everybody out there talking about they wanted short porch roller bags, and that's what we're going to do. And guys, we've been playing ball. I've been playing ball for such a long time. I got so many ideas. Jeff and Cage and Christian and Leslie, you got ideas, and we're just going to put them all together. We're going to bounce ideas off of Ron out there and Brandon Murray and DI and all them, Stacy Carr. You know, if I miss one of you guys, and all my people down here, because you got Alan with Gulf Coast, and you got Texas, Erica, just seen her name pop up. Batting gloves too. Talked to me about batting gloves the other day. Oh man, I do need to start writing some of this shit off too. A lot of you people are asking me this question, and I talked to Jeff about it a little bit today. The Blackout. Are we going to make any more? Me and Jeff thought an idea of doing the Blackout next year. Summer bat, you know, because another thing too, when you put out a bat like that, it's not really a winter bat, you know. When you launch bats that are so hot and that hot, the worst time to launch it is during the winter. And Jeff and Leslie were talking about that today, is they're thinking about launching something, not the same, launching something like that. And it will be out next year sometime, mainly in the hottest part of the year. Maybe before Vegas is what they were talking about. Maybe before Vegas, but that's just something to let you guys know. And here's what happens. And I've always known this, and I've always said this about Short Porch. Here's what happens. When Short Porch, and me and Jeff and Leslie talked about this, and it's kind of funny. I said, wow, that was an F up, right, on the Blackout. But it was good for the ladies in the lower bat speed. Now can we tweak it a little bit? Because when you do an F up, you always want to take the good away from it and build on it, right? That's when I told you that when people start saying, how come you coming out with bats and bats and bats? Well, what happens is you gain knowledge with different technology. So let's say you built the bat and went off this direction, but there's a flaw in it. So you fix it and you keep building it and building it. That's what they're doing. And that's what Jeff was talking about today about doing with the Blackout. Okay, it was an F up. It really was. But it actually benefited me. I love the bat. I think the bat's hot as shit. Now let's keep in that direction and build off of it. And that's what we talked about doing today. But we've got so many irons on the fire that's coming out. We just can't put it ahead of everything else because we're concentrating on 2-piece bats that are coming out. We're concentrating on 12-inch bats that are coming out. We're 13 bats, 12.5 bats that are coming out. Weight different. Balanced bats that are coming out. 2-piece balanced bats. Bats that are coming out. So we just can't stick it. And so we talked about doing that. We talked about doing that during the summertime and maybe tweaking that model because we already know how it was built. Jeff said that today. We know what was wrong with it. Now let's tweak off that. Maybe make it last, a little bit longer. The problem with every bat manufacturer out there, it's kind of like a give and take. If you take away longevity to get performance, it's going to crack. If you add longevity to get longevity, you add that on there, it's going to be a little bit tougher. So we think this is just in the future. We think we've gotten it, are going to get it because there's different stuff going on closer. Definitely, Stacy. We're going to get as close as we can as having that bat that lasts, because a bat has to fail, guys. Another thing too, a bat has to crack. I'm not going to go too far into that, but a bat has to crack. So what we're trying to do is tweak it just a little bit. Tweak it. I'm saying what everybody else says. Tune it just a little bit. So the people who enjoy that bat, the Stacy Callers out there that enjoy that bat, the Rachel Goods, the Tammy Turners, the Zena, the Mike Garibay, my guys over here, Billy Hastings, Gary Kabinka, that are out here, the 7-year-old guys that I know that have swung that, the guys that I know that call me and tell me they swung that bat and love that bat, they can benefit from it, maybe get a little bit more life out of it, and it'll still be as hot. So that's the plan on that bat. That was a question that was asked to me. A lot of people are asking about the whiteout, and I think Jeff just answered a lot of people's questions on here. When is it coming out? And he said mid-December. That is okay, Billy Husta. That is, sorry about that, Murray. His name is Billy Husta. So when is the whiteout going to be out? Mid-December. They wrote it down the other day. We're going to shoot for mid-December. My guiding will be over because I will be guiding from this weekend all the way into the mid-December, and I'll be coming back in town 1 or 2 days a week just to say hi, and then headed back out there again for another 4 days because I have different clients that are coming in. But mid-December, a lot of you people asking about the 2-piece. That is probably a month or 2 later. I'm not going to give you an exact date. You can see us hitting that bat on the membership channel for the next 3-4 days. And that bat's going to be exciting. And it's something that nobody else has developed going forward. Numbers on the weight on the and I think a lot of people are going to talk about this. Guys, Richard Clem is looking for a soup bat, not a sup bat, and a 28-ounce. Richard Clem is looking for a sup bat, whichever way you want to call that. Our soup bat is supposed to be soup, and a 28-ounce. If you got one, get a hold of him, Richard Clem. Richard, this is the biggest platform to advertise for that stuff too. The whiteout is coming in. Jeff had planned this. It's coming in whole ounces and half ounces. 26, 26.5, 27, 27.5. I think we have more one than the other. They are weight distribution numbers in those bats are going to be more like in between. If you guys swung that soup bat, maybe a little bit more geared toward that. It's going to be 26 ounce. I'm going to give numbers on the 26 ounce. It's going to be a 17 ounce in load, and it's going to be 8-9 on the hands, 8-8 on the hands. And that's going to be, it's not going to be weighted. like the Blackout. Blackout's more weighted more toward a balanced bat, 1/4 ounce. You can probably push that bat as a 1/4 ounce in load, especially on the 27 and the 28. You can probably push that bat as a 1/4 ounce in load on that, but more maybe a little bit toward the balanced part, not the 1/2 ounce in load part. So yes, definitely on that. They will be weighted the way the prototype was weighted, and I think I talked about that in the past. That's my computer. I got to keep hitting. God dang, dude. Will there be more Blackouts made? Not in that same, not the same. Guys, that Blackout, if you guys have any, well, they're going to have a 26, Dennis. They're going to have a 26 and 25.5. Actually, I'm getting a, whenever they come out in mid-December, I'm getting a 25.5. Maybe a 25, because they do have a big end load on them. Not, maybe a 3/4 ounce, not really too much of a big 1 ounce. But I'll tell you what, as soon as I get them, I'll weigh them. I will weigh them, and I'll kind of dial it. But the way we dialed those in, and then the accident happened, was 17 ounces on the end on a 26 ounce. You know, if you want a 26.5, you're probably looking at 17.2, 17.3, somewhere around there. As you go up in weight, we're probably looking at, as you go up in weight at 1/2 ounce increments, it's going to be, you know, like if you're going to a 26 to 26.5 to a 27, you're probably going up in 3/10 of an ounce on the end. That's the way Porch loads their stuff. And then on the hand weight, when you're going up in weight, it's probably going to go up like, you know, only those 1/2 ounces. I'm not talking about 4 ounces. I'm talking about 1/2 ounces. You're probably looking at 2 to 3/10 of an ounce, because they do add a little bit more to the end. They're going to go up 3/10, maybe 2/10 on the hands, and then 3/10 on the end. So you're going to get more in weight when you're going up in weight with Porch bats, all through the line, all through the board. You're going to do that because they don't go up evenly. Porch always loads their bats with a little bit more on the end than on the hands, than taking and loading it on the hands to go up in weight. So that's something you're just going to have to, because they are 1/2 ounce end loads too, that you're probably going to have to, yes, definitely. I like swinging. I'm a big bat speed guy, but not too much light. I think I lose control when it's too light. I think I lose control when, yes, the OG wig popper. And those were 16.8, 16.9, 10, 17 on the end, and 8.8 on the hands. I do think that when you guys are picking weight distribution numbers, now let me explain something to you. You don't want to go too heavy. You don't want to go too light. And I told you guys in the past how to get those numbers down, because you got to be a bat speed tester. If not, I can actually watch you and see if you have any lag. The one thing I will say, you know, when it comes to this, is if you can't hit inside pitches, now you got to watch what you're doing. If you're swinging a stiff handle bat and you can't hit an inside pitch, you need to go down in weight, okay? Because you need to be hitting inside pitch, so you go down in weight. But the way the weight distribution numbers are when it comes to Porch, you're going to gain a little bit of bat speed, which actually creates a little bit more distance, and it's not going to be any kind of a big drop. A lot of bat companies out there don't weigh bats like we do. You know, we put, like I talked about before, we add a little bit more in weight when we go up and down in weight, not too much handle weight. We don't go big mass on the hands. And we don't go too low in the hands. The one thing after doing this for 15 years, what I have found out was, if you go too light in the hands, Richard Clem, we actually found this out years ago, and that's something that me and Richard Clem talk about, and Trey got involved later on, and he saw it too. If you go too light in the hands, you lose consistency. You get distance, right, because it's like a big sledge, but you lose consistency. You lose on how you can place the ball, where you can place the ball. That's just something I was preaching before I came over here, and it's one thing. That's one thing that we believe in. Richard Clem, we were talking about this in Church, Texas, when we got through hitting, because there were some bats that were sent to us, had 7, 7.5 in the hands, 7.2 in the hands. We found out, well, we got a little bit more distance on it, but our consistency went down. So we couldn't hit base hits, because that's one thing. You guys don't see that either. When we were doing, we even do it now too, because we're used to doing it, is we actually, not only do you guys see how far we hit the ball, but what you don't see is when we start hitting base hits, we start hitting the ball down and through the infield. And if we can't get that to do, we can't get a bat to do that, it really doesn't, and we've talked about this in videos too, it really doesn't get too high up in the top 10. You know, the bats that we would put in our top 5 had the consistency and they had the distance whenever we're doing it in the past. So this is something that we know by swinging a lot of bats that we have in the last 15 years, you know. So that's another thing too that you guys need to look at. The one thing about short porch, getting back to what we do, is we don't go into 7s, we don't go into low 8s or 7s in the hands, even when we're going down in weight. Tech, the Big Daddy was discontinued because of tech, better tech, better composite, better knowledge, I guess you can say. That's what happens whenever on any, you know, on any company that has something better that they can put out there and introduce it. Now, what I would recommend for you is, you're talking about the Big Daddy. I would recommend you do weight distributions in that bat, find out what the handle weight is and the end weight. Because I don't think it's a Big Daddy. I think it's a weight distribution, because you're not going anything else. Find out what the hand weight on that Big Daddy is, on the weight that you're swinging, and what the end weight is. And pick another short porch bat with better tech that has a weight distribution numbers, and walk right into that, and you'll find out you'll hit the ball a lot better. So I'm used to saying that, because that's what I said at the tent all there in Vegas. We're going to hit before we actually do launches. I actually talked about that too. We're going to hit before we do launches when we're out there. You guys, like I talked about, you guys got any questions, ask them on here, and I will turn around and I will screenshot them, and then I'll talk about them again whenever I do Facebook Live. What I might do, I'll be at the ranch on Friday night. My guys don't come in until Saturday morning. I'm going to try to run Facebook Live again at 6 o'clock on Friday. I want to find out when Adam is from Fat Guys running his. I do not want to cross over into Adam's Facebook Live, and I think he goes on at 4:30 or 5. He goes on early on that Friday. I want to go on right after him and basically talk about a lot of the questions that you guys, and I'm not going to be able to get to tonight. And this is what I wanted to talk about tonight. This is just a screenshot of questions that were asked to me. And I will do that on Friday night, because I still got to talk about a lot of the vitamins and stuff that I take. A lot of you guys right now at the end of the year, you know, I would recommend don't stop working out. Don't stop hitting off a tee. You know, I'm a big believer in, I think you use tee work to strengthen forearm muscles, you know, so maybe go to a little bit more heavier bat to do that. I actually think that that tee work, whenever I would do tee work, it was with a heavier bat. I'm going to get to it, Clem, in a minute. That's an inside joke with me and Clem on Trey. This is the Pygeum one. So heavy weight, go up an ounce when you're doing tee work. Strengthen just work on explosive movements whenever you're doing that. I've got videos coming out after I get back from guiding, which is the mid-December. Then we have that launch coming out with the whiteout, and we'll talk more about that whenever I get back. I know, Trey. The spray. Clem has the spray. It's BPC 157 and TB 500. It's in a nasal spray. It's put out by, it's called the Wolverine. That's what it's called. I think it's pulled out. It's called Wolverine on the outside of it because it heals your body faster. I'm trying to read shit, and I don't need to be trying to read shit. I just need to read it later. Weight training in the off season. I'm going to do videos on me weight training. There is a bunch of other, I recommend this too, guys. I think Mike, I can't even think of his last name now. Been talking too long. Mike from Dudley has got a bunch of videos on weight training to put out there. I look at softball training for weights as everybody has their own little idea of how to do it. And it's the same thing when I was doing powerlifting. There were so many powerlifting routines out there. I picked one that I thought was really good. It was a Lou Simmons powerlifting routine. I cannot do it exactly the way he did it because those guys juiced at that Westside Barbell Club. I did not juice when I powerlift. I was in the ADFPA, American Drug Free Powerlifting Association, because I could not compete against those guys, and I would not. I tweaked it a little bit because they could handle the weight and I couldn't handle the weight because the recovery time when you juice is a lot faster than what mine was with not juicing. So I base my off season on a 5-3-1. Dave Tate is a big, Mark Bell is a big one that I actually religiously used to back in the day. Listen to Lou Simmons was the best one that I've ever, with softball, that I've ever had and I've ever did, that actually increased my distance and increased my exit velo when it comes to all that. So I'm going to be doing a lot of his routines coming out in the next month. It's going to be all videotaped indoors at a gym, powerlifting gym, and basically show you guys the basics on how to lift when it comes to softball. That's it. I don't do any pec work. That's the worst thing you can do for softball. I don't do any bicep work. I think that's the worst thing you can do for softball. I do a lot of back, a lot of traps, a lot of triceps, a lot of forearms, a lot of legs. I've got a back problem, so I do belt squats, but I mainly work my legs. I don't do extensions, and I don't do them the other way. Do hamstrings. I don't do that shit. Any kind of squatting, a sled would actually be pretty good too. So I'll do a sled and get on it. The one thing I would recommend a lot of you seniors out there doing, it saves my shoulders, is this comes from Mark Bell. It's called the slingshot. You stick your arms through it, and it actually helps you on the bottom end when you're doing bench push-ups. I actually do push-ups with this thing too. And I live by that thing. It takes pressure. It actually pulls your elbows in, which you're supposed to be working your tries. You don't want to flare them out. Works your chest too much. So you want to pull the elbows in, and that slingshot pulls your elbows in. It takes pressure off your shoulders. Front shoulders, you don't use front shoulders when you're hitting balls. Use back, your rear delt, maybe a little bit of the top, maybe a little bit of the top, or the top delt right here, and then the rear delt. Traps are big, lats are big when it comes to kind of work those in the off season, do any kind of workout routine. Push-ups with the slingshot, that's another thing too that I do. I'll do bench on Monday, slingshot with push-ups on Thursday. But listen to this, guys. I laugh when I see that, is whenever guys are out there doing that 100 push-up challenge, guys. I can't do 20. I can't do 20 push-ups, but I'm pretty big up on top. But one thing too is I do my push-ups differently. I do explosive movements. I bring them. Mark Hamilton, there you go. That's who he is. Go watch his stuff, guys. I think any information out there about working out is good. I support what he's doing. I support his channel because it's getting you up off your ass and actually doing something. And if you can do his routine, my routine, and guys, because what happens with your body is you get into a rut by doing one routine. But I think what we should do is do everybody's routine. I did a 5-3-1 one season, and then I've done different other kind of workout routines. I think I've got 3. I've got my own that actually is an on-season and an off-season workout routine. And it's 9 sets, 3 reps, explosive movements, and 30 seconds rest in between reps. So that's all out there. It's actually on that membership channel. That's all out there that you can get a hold of. I'll be doing video on it because a lot of you guys haven't seen me in the gym lately. I do have a gym in the garage right here behind me, and I have to work out. I freaking hate working out. I hate it with a passion, but I know that I have to do it. Even as a kid, I hated working out, but I know that I have to, and I feel better at the end because of the endorphins that it releases. but I know that to do what I have to do, to be good at what I do, and to keep in shape, because I'll be turning 65 next year, that I have to do it. So that's the reason that I do it. I want to live as long as I can. So I eat right, I work out, and I want to keep in shape. So I'll be giving you guys little tips during the off season, January, February, on how to work out more this year than any other year. And I know I talk about that every year, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Guys, there's one thing I want to talk about before I talk about this stuff is the one thing that I do, and I did this. Let me tell you what happened in Phoenix. I'll get that later. I'm done with that. Let me tell you what happened in Phoenix. I don't know, because I do wear hard cleats, and I never should have wore hard cleats, but my heels started hurting me, and I think it was because of the infield that we were playing at S.A.R.M.S, and that infield was so hard, and I was running bases for a lot of people, and I was out there running, and I couldn't hardly get out of bed the next day. We played our pool games. I got up the next morning, and I couldn't get out of bed. I had to take a Tylenol, and I don't take a lot of pain relieving stuff. I really don't. I kind of stay away from Motrin and stuff like that. If I have to, I'll take one Tylenol in the morning. And that's it. I don't take any kind of muscle relaxers or pain stuff like that. I don't do that. So I got up and I finally got my ankles where they were moving. It took me about 30, 45 minutes. And then the next day was harder, and then we were done with the tournament. I could hardly walk in the airport to get to my plane when I was leaving that night. The one thing I did that morning when we played our last game, it was at 12 o'clock. I ate breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning, played at 12. We lost. I did not eat again until the next day. Now, I'll tell you what, I fast. I do this all the time. What fasting does, it increases growth hormone. What growth hormone does, when you fast, it increases it a lot, right? So I've been doing this for years. I fast on my day of recovery, coming back from a tournament like that, because it's so easy, because I'm on a plane flight, I'm coming back, and then when I get back, I can walk into the house and go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and wait till 12 o'clock to actually eat again. It's really not that hard. The first time, a couple times, probably be hard. You probably want to do it for 12 hours or 16 hours and then go up to 24. I do it for 24 because it releases growth hormone in your body. So it actually helps me heal a lot faster. That's another thing too. You guys out there doing surgery, you had Charlie Mueller on here a minute ago. I would recommend Charlie Mueller fast after he had the knee replacement surgery, because it increases growth, right? And it repairs everything. So when your pituitary gland secretes growth at nighttime when you go to bed, so it's supposed to, because we get that 4-hour REM sleep, it increases tremendous amount of growth through the pituitary gland, which is right between your eyeballs. And that's how you heal your body from the day. That's how, if you're corporate, it heals the brain, because you've been thinking all day long. So you get that 4-hour REM sleep. You got to get in a 4-hour REM sleep. You can't be doing, that's another thing too, you can't be doing caffeine before you go to sleep, because you're drinking caffeine before you go to sleep. You don't get in that 4-hour REM. You always stay in the top. You flutter up and down. So your body's not releasing growth. So that may be one of your problems too. Another thing too, everybody on here, everybody that's looking at this, go down to your doctor within the next month and get your testosterone levels checked. Everybody. You cannot heal. You cannot think. I talked to a couple of seniors up in Phoenix. You cannot heal. You cannot think, right? Get your quality of life back. Find out what your numbers are. If they're below 360, you have a problem. You're symptomatic at 400, guys. And don't believe the bullshit that you hear about it. Do some research. Get on Google. Find out what everybody's talking about. It's so, I was talking about this shit 15 years ago when people frowning on me going, our doctors would tell me, no. Now there's a doctor on every corner, a TRT clinic on every corner that is talking about this. I just saw that. Another thing too, you ladies out there, get your TRT level, the testosterone levels checked too. Get your hormones, do a blood panel, get your hormone levels checked too. On you ladies out there, I think that every person that plays softball, man and woman, needs to get all those levels checked. Brian was talking about basically get your testosterone levels checked. But definitely, guys, I'm going to go through the supplements that I'm taking. I think I left probably 1 or 2 out because I left them upstairs. First and foremost, guys, we do not digest food. And I'm going to go through this slowly. We do not digest food like we should. As we get older, our pancreas, gallbladder, liver doesn't do like, you guys notice that you can't eat pizza anymore. You guys can't eat a big steak anymore. This is what I take. It's digest. This is right here. I take digestive enzymes. You guys can pick out whatever you want, but this is the one that I take. I like this one. There's one out there that's super, definitely is, Trey. This is an enzyme too, but it's, look at what it's made out of. I'm not going to talk about it now, but this is actually, it's called TUDCA. That's another one too. And take the daily recommended that you do take, unless we're talking about D3 with K2. Vitamin D3 with K2. I think it's in here somewhere, but I'll talk about that in a minute. TUDCA is actually, look at what they made TUDCA out of. It used to be made out of bear gallbladder. This is everybody right now. Everybody right now should go buy this tomorrow. The reason is because it's the wintertime. You're not going to get a lot of sun. It's D3 with K2 right there. And you guys can see the dosage on this one. And that's who it's made by. Holy shit. There you go. D3 with K2. You guys got to be on shit. K2 actually helps D3. And K2 at large doses cleans your arteries out too. Do some research on it. Find out what that does. But D3 is actually a hormone, believe it or not. And it's very, very, very good for you. I take this to increase metabolism. You girls want to take this to lose weight, you can do it. And it's a supplement. Berberine. Right here. Called berberine. Guys can pause it later on and look at it. All you ladies need to be on this too. It's very good for you because a lot of people out there. Yeah, definitely, Murray. And if you guys are afraid of getting sick, that D3 with K2 is actually helps you from getting sick. It helps strengthen your immune system. There you go. But this is berberine. I take this every day too. This is benfotiamine. Benfotiamine is actually, this is a part of B1. I think it's B1. This is part of B1, and it's very good for you. I take this all the time too during the day. Magnesium. Somebody on here talked about magnesium. Getting on it, guys. Only buy this magnesium. Don't buy any other ones. Beet juice. I actually going to start taking beets. Claim I'd mentioned it right there. I've heard so much good shit about that. I'm going to start taking it and kind of test it out and let you guys know about it later. Magnesium glycinate. Is that what it is? Glycinate. That's the magnesium that you got to take. Don't take the other ones because it's going to get you sick, upset your stomach, and stick you on the pot for a while. Definitely don't take the other ones. And that's the one you should be taking. It doesn't, and it gets the B12 because I tested and I was low B12. Folate. That's another one too. When you go in and get a blood panel, have them check your B levels, your B12 levels, your D3 levels. Clem's favorite, guys. Oh, hold on. Let me talk about this first. I think we're going to get sponsorship from Clem's favorite too. A lot of people say, do I have to take creatine in the off season? Yes, you do. Because you'll be lifting weights in the off season. Creatine makes you stronger. Creatine helps the brain, right? So this is the one that I take. I think it is the best creatine out there. And I've taken them all, guys. I've been taking creatine for 35 years, right? I've been taking creatine for 35 years. It does, raise your creat levels. So you got to tell your doctor when you go in and they check your urine, tell them what you're taking, right? And he'll understand why those levels were raised. we're going to get sponsored by this company right here, and rightfully so, because it's very good for your prostate. Everybody watching this over the age of 50 or 40, I would say 40. I don't care if you have a family history of prostate cancer or not. You guys got to get on this. Pygium. This stuff does for us men, right? And I think women could take it basically for urinary tract infections, for kidney infections, and for bladder, because it, on top of that, it does help your prostate and helps everything down there and keep it straight. We're probably be wearing this probably next year on all the short porch gear, and because we'll probably be sponsored by Pygium. We talk about it so much in the behind the scenes that we'll probably be doing that. I am done, guys. Hour and a half. Sorry about that. Creatine is badass. Guys, don't listen to what they say about creatine. Creatine is badass. And I get checked up every 4 months, you know. Amazon, yes. I get a lot of my shit off Amazon. And I go to a place in San Antonio called Cost Plus Nutrition, and I get a lot of my stuff done there. I'm going to try to go on Friday night to see what the reception is out at the ranch. I think I did a live podcast there one time, and it actually was successful. I will only be answering questions that you guys put on here. Basically kind of go through that for maybe an hour. I'll check with Adam to make sure that I'm not going. Alan, are you going on tonight? Or is it too cold there? And maybe, and Murray, maybe next time we do this, I can actually talk to you about what you. Is it right now? Are they going? Hey guys, Alan, short porch Gulf Coast is going on right now. I know I've had up to 85 people join me tonight, which is phenomenal. I think that's badass. What I want you guys to do, because we're gonna be hitting some short porch gear over there, short porch Gulf Coast. Jump on over there and watch them do some hitting. They're gonna be do some talking too in front of the camera, and basically short porch Gulf Coast. And jump on over there and get on with them and watch them and finish it on out. Guys, I will see you Friday night. Thanks, guys, for watching.